She's a funny old broad. She keeps you guessing.
Hello, everybody. This is Angela, middle initial K, last name Durden, and this is The Constrained View, a special edition. Yes, last Saturday, as I went to, I was leaving the house of Joshua Batchelder, where we had recorded his third episode, and that's in The Constrained View. It's also on the YouTube channel. I totally forgot about the No Kings protests that were going to go on. Now, you need to understand that Joshua lives in Tucker, Georgia. I live in Decatur. And so there I was in Tucker and came upon this. Now, you might be thinking, Angela, really? It's a traffic jam. But it caused me to think, oh dear, we might be coming up. Because in Tucker, we've got a lot of people who do love to march and hold up signs this year. It's like their new hobby or something. I don't know, but let's see what we've got here. So this is a clogged intersection because police are up there because of a No Kings march in Tucker, Georgia. I'm going to pause it so we can see this when we get closer. Just to put grins and giggles, let's cover up that fella's license plate. Grins and giggles, this is at North Lake and La Vista Road. And we've had about 5 minutes waiting. And we have just started moving again after 5 minutes of this traffic situation. And we're stopping again. Just saw a sign that said F-U-C-K, you know what that spells, fascism. And I thought, isn't that interesting? While the people beside are like, no kings. Lady just walked by with a sign that said Trump, Putin, Vance, and I don't know, somebody else, or dump them. And I just shook. Obviously, I didn't do a good job of covering up license plate numbers. I don't think technically I have to, but it's a public space. Shook my head at her, and she turned her sign around, and the back of it said Russian traitor. Okay, we're getting ready to start driving across the bridge that crosses over 285. I sat there at that light for about 10 minutes as they were letting people come across. The reports are that there were unofficial reports, gossip reports, was that there were 6,000 people in this little section today marching. I can tell you there were not 6,000 people. There may have been 1,000 maximum. On La Vista Road. And another 5 minutes have passed, and we're going to be moving through an intersection here. I don't know who's honking, and I don't know what they're saying, but as you can see, there's a bunch of people doing their thing. Everybody's moving over into one lane. We got a whole bunch of police cars here. It really bothers me that there's a lot of people marching. Like this one guy, he says, defend the Constitution. He doesn't even know what that means. He's seen it every day, the Constitution being defended, and doesn't even recognize that he's on the side that is trying to destroy it. Science is not a liberal conspiracy. Correct, science isn't. But propaganda science is. No kings. Democracy, yes. Tyranny, no. And yet they're on the side of tyranny. Absolutely aggravating as all get out. Dump Trump. No kings since 1776. Yes. We know that, baby doll. I'm going to pause it here for a second, too. We're coming to the end of the parade. There were two staging areas, about at the most a mile apart. At the very, very most a mile apart. And you can see how scattered the marching is. So if you think a mile this way and a mile this way, and they're marching that way in a circle, if you start here, you end up there, or you can march the whole route. There were not 6,000 people there. I don't care what anybody says. There weren't. We'll stop back up. Oh my gosh. We the people say no kings, and yet they are on the side that is pushing for that sort of thing. It's absolutely aggravating. Oh, we got people all hot to trot up and down both sides of the road. Hell of it is, I think I saw one of my friends out here. Of course, I know that's where she'd be. Walking. Got a lot of people honking in solidarity. No Trump, no king, no dictator. No king was the point of 1776. We know that, baby doll. It's a shame that you're marching for the side that wants to turn you back into a slave and a vassal of the state to serve their needs. That's just too bad. What a shame. And now we've got an officer that says we can go. I don't know if you can see that over there, but a bunch of people with signs on that side too. What they're doing is they've got a staging area and they walk in a big circle. There's some more. I am not going to clog up this intersection. That's why all those helicopters have been up there. No cons, no clowns, no kings, no... Oh, in America. That's what that's saying. Well, we should be through this before too very long. In America, we don't do kings. No kings and no jesters. Oh, these people. So blind. No taco kings, and he don't even know what that means. Give King Trump the royal flush. Leon Cog, the last words of, I don't know. Write so small you can't read it. And here we go. No kings except Elvis. He is still the king. Now that, see, that is funny. No faux king way. Oh, F-A-U-X-K-I-N-G. Abide no hatred, and yet he's there's nothing wrong with hatred if you're hating on the thing that is evil. The thing that is being done that is evil. There's nothing wrong with hating evil. And yet, they think somehow kumbaya, give love a chance, is going to solve the problems. They don't recognize who the real enemy is. You understand this? They don't recognize who the real enemy is. The people that you see walking by right now with resist signs and all that crap. Poor thing. Well, my battery's getting dead, so I'm going to close this out right now. Besides, we're at the end of the parade. Poor things. Yeah, so what I did was I put my camera, I have a power cord, and I plugged it in and drove a bit further, and I thought at this time, there I was just coming out of Tucker. Well, I was still in Tucker, but I thought, I wonder if there's anything going on downtown Decatur. Right at the courthouse is usually where there's something going on. So I thought I would meander my way over there and take a look. And then, excuse me, and then I said, after Decatur, I said, I wonder if anything's going on in Atlanta. So watch this. I've got commentary throughout. It might seem like, I'm just driving, but I've got things to say in between different places. You'll see. Well, I can see some people. Oh dear, here we go. Here's some more. Some kind of a farmer's market here today at the church. Oh, this is too funny. Normalize love. We the people. Somebody with eggs and kings. Oh, she had a crown on. That's what it was. And we've got some other people. This is heading into downtown Decatur. I'm going straight. We are on Claremont Road, heading into the heart of downtown Decatur proper. Oh, looks like they got something big going on at the old courthouse there. There was a big deal where they removed some Civil War statue a few years ago when all that hype was going on. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. And we will see what we got here. I'm going to turn right. Let me get a nice good shot of all of this. Oh, they're walking. They're walking. Law is king. Trump is not. Which, of course, Trump has never said he's king. He isn't acting like a king. And someone asked him what he was doing. Did he want to be king? And he said, no. He was definitely not a king. If he was a king, he could just snap his fingers and make anything happen. But he's not just snapping his fingers and making anything happen. He's going by the laws of the Constitution. But hey, you know, defend the Constitution from all enemies, both foreign and domestic, says this one sign up here. Yes, this is absolutely true. And yet they're fighting for the side. Oh my gosh, is that a Mexican flag? And there's a Canadian flag. There's a pride flag. There's an American flag. That's too funny. And here comes more. It says no turn on red. There we go. We got us a green light. And I am getting some more of that. And somebody put some flags on a couple that was dancing. It wasn't an actual couple. It was the I got a vehicle that's wanting to parallel park here, so got to be nice and stop for them, that's for certain. And here we go, we're heading down the street again. But anyway, this couple that was dancing was a bronze statue sitting on the square there. I think I've got time to turn. I do. Let's see if we can come around the block and see if there's anything else on the other side of Decatur. We've got a big, huge parking structure. The Judicial Center is right to the left of me there, just to the left of me there. County offices to the are to the right. The judicial system is to my left. And my left is what's also known as the other right. You know, you'd think all the years that I've had a left hand and a right hand, I wouldn't confuse which way I'm turning. And yet sometimes there it is. I don't think I'm the only one that does that. Okay, here we go. Let's see if there's anything going on this side of town. Well, I don't see anybody thus far, do you? Possibly. No, that isn't anybody. Oh, we got some people coming up right here with some signs headed that way. Here they go walking across. And there we got a fella who needs a bra. A man bra. Chick-fil-A on the corner. You know, they'll serve a Chick-fil-A and a frosted lemonade to anybody, no matter what kind of sign they're carrying. Chick-fil-A supports freedom and the Constitution. And we're gonna let that person get across the street. Ooh, we got people with bicycles out. Not seeing it anymore. It looks like all of this is just gonna be around the courthouse, the old courthouse area. Yeah. Got some new businesses around here. There used to be a bike place to the left where I'm at now. Has been sold and moved, and I don't know where it moved to, but it's a very nice bike shop, but I'm not going to be needing a bicycle. Going to be turning left on, what in the heck is the name of this street? You know, they've had so much construction going on that they don't even have a street sign on here. It's not Commerce, it's it might be Church, part of Church. Oh, and there's Twain's Kitchen Brewery. You know, they used to be a hot place to go listen to jazz and stuff like that, and they stopped doing all kinds of live music, just stopped it all. I think it's because anytime you got a jazz jam or any kind of a jam where musicians can show up, musicians are, for the most part, broke. Just broke, and they may come and they may drink a beer or two, but they're mostly nursing those along, and otherwise they ask for water. So the place is packed, but they're not making any money, and that's too bad. My gosh, would you look at those dark clouds up there? Dark clouds. When I get up here to East Ponce de Leon, I'm going to turn left. And when I turn left, then I will, I think it's East Ponce de Leon. Yes, East Ponce. We'll get the other side of the No Kings peaceful protest. And it's a good thing it's peaceful. I guess you saw where the Attorney General for the state of Georgia, what was his name? I don't have it with me right this minute because I'm driving and I can't look it up. But he put out a notice, said, look, his name is Chris Carr. Look, peaceful protest, we're good to go. But you start throwing things, burning things, attacking people, then you know what? Nah, that's not going to happen. Oh, I can't make a left there. Dang. No left. When did that happen? Well, I guess I can't get the rest of it. So tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here to, I want to head into around the Emory University. Let's see if anything's going on there. So I'll be back with y'all shortly. And by shortly, I mean however long it takes me to get over there, which could be 10 or 15 minutes. But I'm just going to pause the camera. Hey, y'all. I decided to keep the camera going until, oh, look. Here we go. Up there, they're crossing the street. I wonder where they're going to walk to. They're not going to walk all the way to Emory. Most of them couldn't even handle that. But anyway, I'm going to, because there's a lot of y'all that might not be from Decatur, Georgia. Maybe you've heard of the Emory University and haven't really seen what's around it. So if, however long it takes me to get there, which should be with traffic and everything, could be 10, 15 minutes. I'm just going to let this run and let you see what the Decatur area looks like, just in case, you know, you want to get a view of Decatur, Georgia, or parts of it. Parts of it, I should say. Decatur, Georgia is in DeKalb County. DeKalb County is north. It's okay. If you look at a map, DeKalb County is east of Atlanta and north of Atlanta. Kind of sits northeast of Atlanta. Oh, there's got people honking and saying, oh, we're honking in support of y'all. Well, I'm not. Oh my gosh, they're coming to the church. That's where they're walking, to the church. Yeah, this is a big political church. It's the First Baptist Church of Decatur. They get very political about a lot of things. I knew a woman who was the pastor of the church for some years. It would take me a while to think of her name. It's been so long since I've seen her. Then she moved to D.C. and became the pastor of a Baptist church there. I never did remember her name. I would have to go back into my emails to find it or contact somebody who was in the writing critique group we were in, see if they remember her. And is even more political up there. Don't know what happened to her. She was writing. We were part of a writing critique group that I've been in for quite so many years. I love my group, but some members have come and gone. She was writing a story based on her brother's real life happenings, which I'm not going to mention because she was concerned about his privacy. I don't know if he's alive or dead anymore, but there was some weird stuff going on with her brother, and she was trying to figure it all out, and so it was quite interesting. She was a good, very good writer, but she was afraid. And what she was afraid of was what would people think about her, because she loved her brother, and yet the things he was doing was, whew, some of them weird things. So she was having a hard time coming together with that. Now we are at the Scott Boulevard. Scott Boulevard, well, if you take Scott Boulevard, if you were to turn left at this intersection on Claremont, because we're on Claremont, the one that's spelled with an E, C-L-A-I-R-E-M-O-N-T. It's at this intersection that the name Claremont changes. Claremont is within the city limits. Outside the city limits where Claremont is, there is no E. I understand there was some sort of a big argument about that when Claremont Road went to be extended, yay on these many decades ago. I don't know what all it is. But anyway, if you turn left at the Scott Boulevard and you just keep going, and you don't turn, you just keep going, it'll turn into Ponce de Leon. And if you just keep going, Ponce de Leon will intersect with Peachtree, which the Fox Theater would be on the right corner of Ponce de Leon and Peachtree. And if you just stay on Ponce, you will end up in the Varsity Hot Dog parking lot. Hello, mama. Them are some good hot dogs. I love their frosted orange. It is so good. I love their hot dogs. I've never gotten a hamburger there, so I cannot opine on that. Now, we are crossing Scott, and we're headed over to where we're going to turn left on North DeKalb. I think that's what it's called, North DeKalb. North DeKalb? We'll soon find out. You see, in the metro area, roads take all kinds of turns, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why they're called anything. It's not North DeKalb, it's North Decatur Road. Get a little closer. North Decatur Road. There you go. There you go. But there's no rhyme or reason. I have a joke I tell that you can be in downtown Atlanta and take any right, turn right anywhere, 4 times in a row, and you'll end up in Stone Mountain, which is 20 miles away. That's how convoluted things can get. That's not true, of course, but
almost.
It's twisty-turny out here, let me just tell you. And I've lived here for years, and I still get turned around sometimes. Okay, so we're turning left onto North Decatur, and ooh, rain is starting. Rain, rain, rain. I wonder what that's going to do to the protesters. Hopefully they brought something to keep themselves dry. You never know. Anyway, North Decatur will end up on Clifton. Ooh, I just saw a yard sale sign. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. I'm going to have to come back and check out that yard sale. You know, this is not my usual path for checking out. I did not get back to that yard sale. As you will see, I didn't even get close to it. Yard sales. On Fridays and Saturdays, well, Saturday mornings usually, but sometimes on Friday there'll be yard sales out in near where I live, and I find some good stuff at yard sales. I'll turn that on to where it'll go a little bit by itself. Oh dear, here we go, here we go. You know what, there needs to be a way to set the focus without it automatically doing it. I bet there's a way, isn't there? Oh man. Right this minute, I'm going to see if I can kind of sort of fast forward through this because it's nothing but blur for a little bit. So give me a second. He was a Coca-Cola fella. There we go. I could be wrong, but I think he was. And we're now gonna. What I did was I pulled off, and I found that there's an well, they call it an auto exposure / autofocus that you can choose, and it took me a minute to find it, but I found it, and then it worked a lot better. Drive through the North Decatur Road, Clifton Road exit, and we're going to end up on Ponce, and we're going to head on into Atlanta. See if any kind of stuff's going on there that we can get it on the film for you here. Although it's not film, is it? The recording. I think I can turn my windshield wipers off for now. Those windshield wipers, I've never had any like this before. They make so much noise. They're very grippy, and it's driving me crazy. But I'm too darn cheap to go and get another pair that doesn't make that much noise because it does do the job. I don't know. And these are brand new. They're only just 2 or 3 months old, 4 months old maybe. Okay, here we go. This is a very, you know, a lot of people do not realize how many trees Atlanta has. Atlanta is eat up with trees. Eat up. And this, of course, is a really, really good thing because it does help keep our air cleaner. But people have trees in their yards. They're downtown. They line the interstates in some places. We plant more. We don't like to cut any down, but there comes a point where you have to. But you see, look at this, and all these people, they keep things so nice and neat. Even if they're kind of messy-ish in how they don't pluck their weeds like they should. It's usually some kind of a neat little setting that it's in. This is just a great little drive back through here. I know you're probably noticing all the power poles and all the lines strung across. You know, it costs a lot of money to put things underground, and there's some places you can't put the utilities underground. So I'm just glad I got utilities. I love my electricity. I love my water delivered right to my tap. Yeah. I love my gas that I cook with, of course. and heat with. Love my air conditioning. You know, somehow or another, I feel like, here we go. There's Clifton Road 3 ways. I think I need to go this way though, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong, but hey, I told you it goes round and round. Look, there was an intersection with no matter which way you went, it was Clifton Road. See what I mean? A lot of these people that live here, they work at the CDC or at Emory University or at Georgia Tech or at Georgia State University or Coca-Cola or AT&T and a whole bunch of other companies. Because where we're going through right here, we're talking big bucks for houses. But you know, the older I get, the less space I need. Because you know, my kids aren't going to come live with me. They couldn't wait to get away from me. I doubt very seriously they're going to ever come back and live with me. So I've got a small one-in-one condo that I'm trying my darndest to unclutter. Don't get me wrong, I'm very organized. But you know, there just comes a point where there's stuff and you have to ask yourself, do I need this stuff? Well, I just don't know. Oh my gosh, those are some nice big edges. Fern Bank is around here somewhere. I don't know if we've already passed where the Fern Bank is. Nope, here comes Fern Bank. Right up here on the left, that's one part of it. See that right there. You can't see it from here. It's off the road a nice pretty ways, but you know. And I think we're going to be up here. Here we go. Ponce de Leon. You see, I did. I turned the correct way. Didn't even need GPS. And I'm getting ready to turn right onto Ponce de Leon. And let me tell you, if the rain's coming down hard enough on this road, I have driven down it where it was a foot deep. And the only reason I kept driving was because there was no way out of the situation. And that just tells you how bad the drainage system under the streets, what kind of shape they're in, even in Atlanta. Bad, 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 bad. Unless you think that's just Atlanta, no. The United States government has given mandates to just about every old community that there is across the United States that they have got to fix their infrastructure or else. Oh, there's a big old pothole. And here's another one. See, sinking down next to where the drainage portals are. Well, I'm not seeing any kind of a St. John's, let's see, St. John's Lutheran Church. Is that a Lutheran church? Yeah, they got their pride flag out. Not a surprise to see that. Now, let me just kind of, here's a big old place. Not sure if you can see it. See, a lot of these things you don't really see really good because there's so many trees.
There are.
Just so many trees.
Loaded.
But we're really not too far from downtown Atlanta. Man, I'm thirsty. You know, I should give myself a Tic Tac. That might help. Let me see here now. There we go. Got myself a Tic Tac. Took my life in my hands to do it, but hey. Springdale Park Elementary School. There was some drama with shutting that down, and I think What do you want to bet some bureaucrat's going to see this video, if they get this far, that is, and they're going to say, oh, we need to make a law that says you cannot shake out a Tic Tac into your mouth while you're driving. I mean, that's the idiocy of all this stuff. Because even though I said took my life in my hands, I did not. I was driving safely. It ended up not being shut down. I don't have any kids in any school anymore, so I don't have to worry about any of that crap. Now, this is just a case in point. We're on Ponce de Leon, heading into downtown Atlanta. To the left is Moreland Avenue. To the right is Briarcliff Road. If you stay on Briarcliff Road from this point and go all the way to the other end, you'll have gone in about a 3/4 circle over a large period of time. I mean space, although time and space, they're interlinked, if I remember correctly. And I could turn right here and be at my place in no time at all. This is how close I am to downtown Atlanta. Not far at all. And yet I could also turn around on this street and go straight back, and I would be at home. There's there's even part of the street that's straight is amazing in Atlanta. And we're coming up on Midtown right here. Got a lot of really old businesses here, old churches, old buildings. I'm just hoping to see if we see any more protests up here, or peaceful ones, of course. I don't want to be anywhere near unpeaceful ones or violent ones, you know what I mean. Another pothole, and nowhere to miss it because I've got cars all around me. And I didn't realize how many potholes I was hitting. There's a lot of homes where older men who have nobody to help them are housed at a cheap rate. I knew one of those men. He was gay, and he says, I was taking him somewhere. We were going to go see a friend of ours perform. And he, oh my gosh, this is, I picked him up. It was clear weather when I picked him up. And we had to get on Interstate 75. By the time I got on Interstate 75, the water was 8 inches deep on Interstate 75, 8 inches. And this man was feeling so sorry for himself. I had picked him up at one of these, at that home that I was telling you about, one of them. He was feeling so sorry for himself that the whole time I'm trying not to have us die because these big rigs whose tires were just sliced through this 8 inches of water and didn't care, were blowing so much water up over my car that wipers couldn't wipe it away. So I'm trying to keep us alive. Couldn't even pull over because there was traffic everywhere. And he's talking about how lonely he is. He said, Angela, you just don't know how lonely it is for old gay men. And he said a lot of stuff, and I got bits and pieces of it, but I was really concerned with keeping us alive. And I couldn't give him the sympathy he needed because I was trying to keep us alive. And I wish I could have helped him a little more that day, but I just couldn't. And then I think he kind of got his feelings hurt that I wasn't with him as much as he wanted, and he didn't talk to me for a long time. And then our friend that we had gone to see, she called me. She was out of town on another job. She's a performer, actress, singer, that sort of thing. She called me and she said that he was in a hospital, really bad off, and could I go check it out and see how he was doing, because she said he's mad at me and won't take my phone calls. I said okay. So I get in the car and I go to the hospital and I tell them I'm here to see him, and he says to me, I said, well, you know, our friend has been trying to call you. He goes, I don't like her anymore. That's why I'm not answering her phone calls. It was too funny. Now right here we've got a tattoo. I'm going to stop this for a minute just to tell you that he went on about why he didn't like her. What he said was, she's trying to put her nose in my business. And his idea of putting nose in his business was calling him, making sure he had food, making sure he had clothes proper for the season, offering to pick him up and take him somewhere if he needed it. He died not long after that. He was not in good shape at all. Maybe he's happier now. Of course, he wouldn't know. He's just dead. Parlor. We've got a gosh, what kind of tower beer, wine, spirits place. Very long that's been there. And then up here we have the Ponce City Market. They took the old Sears building, which before that was a colonial bread manufacturing place. Yeah. Sears bought it. They sold it to the city. It was a city complex for a while. And then the city moved the complex somewhere else. I haven't kept up with Atlanta. And they turned it into Ponce City Market. And I think there are lofts at the top, and then there's retail, restaurants, stuff like that at the bottom. I would go there more often, except to park there, you have to pay about $15. And there's nothing there that I want to pay $15 for to be able to see. I used to go in it for free. Yep. When it was Sears. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, Saturday always gets traffic. Okay, you know what? I'm going to pause it for a bit until we get to somewhere that you're not looking at a tailgate of somebody's vehicle. I think that's pretty cute. Somebody painted on there I-beam. Oh, it was in 2021 they painted it on there. Got an eyeball down there. That's pretty cool. And that big building that you're seeing right there, that is the Ponce City Market now. Used to be the Sears building, still has the Sears, Roebuck and Company stone across the top of the main entrance. And before that, it was Colonial Bread Company. My mother-in-law worked there back in the 50s, 1950s, 1940s. I forget. Oh, I meant to tell you that thing where we just saw the I-beam, That is actually part of the Atlanta Beltline, where people bike and jog and walk and that sort of thing. As you can see, it's meandering, the Beltline meanders its way through some major heavy-duty stuff here. See that Starbucks right there? That used to be a great Starbucks. And then Starbucks, you remember when they changed where their bathrooms could be used by anybody and you couldn't tell the homeless people not to take up all the seats in the interior? It used to be a great place to go and sit and take your computer and drink 2 cups of coffee and check your emails while you're waiting on somebody. I used to do stuff like that all the time as I was going out and about, meeting customers and that sort of thing. And then suddenly there was a lot of homeless people trying to hit you up for stuff. They were not nice. They weren't nice. Oh, another pothole. And another one. But that place had to close for a little bit because it turned into a nasty, filthy, dirty location that was unsafe for the workers to work there. Let's not say workers, that sounds so communist. Let's call them the employees. Then they got to where they couldn't keep employees, so they shut it down, changed their policy, opened it back up, and that was the thing. But I don't have to come this way as often anymore. We are very close to downtown Atlanta. I will pause here momentarily. Oh, you can't see it because there's people and cars in the way. But no, you can't see it. We got 2 people with signs: hands off our democracy, impeach, convict. And then another one with no kings sign. So that's all we've seen thus far. Let's see as we get closer to downtown Atlanta what we see. We're coming up Ponce de Leon, or as some people like to say, Ponce de Leon. If memory serves, we're going to have some Krispy Kreme donuts down here on the left. No, I'm going to be a good girl and not stop today because I already, there's another dip. I already bought a donut at a yard sale today. There were a couple of kids. Their mother was sitting out there overseeing the thing. And they were willing to sell me a donut for $2. I don't know that they made any money off of that. But they had a good time. Mary Mac's Tea Room. Ooh, did you see that sign? Back up just a few seconds. That's the famous Mary Mac's Tea Room. Okay, we're going to start back up here. We're at the intersection of Ponce de Leon and Piedmont Avenue. Piedmont Avenue is another one of those streets that you can get lost on real fast and never turn off of it and end up at Stone Mountain.
That's true.
And I think this is Juniper.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Oh my goodness. We're right at Peachtree Street. If you look right there, you can see the Fox Theater. Do you see it? Not the big modern building behind it. That's part of it, but not really. Okay, now I told you if you just keep on going down Scott Boulevard, it would turn into Ponce, and Ponce would turn into, would go straight into the the parking lot of the Varsity. I'm going to show you how that works. So we're getting ready to cross West Peachtree. Oh, better stop. Whoa, Norfolk Southern. Look at their new offices. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. I'm gonna have to tell my cousin about that. Her father retired from them. He invented something for them way back in the 50s, I think, that some sort of systemized something. I'm gonna have to ask her about that. I may get her to tell the story. She won't tell it on a video. I may get her to tell it on the phone. Okay, so I can turn left or I can go straight right here. I'm going straight. And this is Spring Street, that's a one-way street. Oh my gosh. It's the Varsity. We're getting ready to go into the Varsity. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going inside. I'm just going to go in the parking lot and let you see. They've got this parking underneath the deck here, which is, I always like to park in this area because it's shady. See? And this is the parking for the Varsity only. There's a deck up above that you can do. You can see all of this row of cars right there. That's where they come out and they take your order and bring it to the vehicle. So we are going to turn around. I know I'm going the wrong way. I know. I'll just look like a little old lady and say, I got confused. And somebody will say, yeah, well, lady, why don't you just stop your driving? Huh. That's just, oh, I see what it is. It's a reflection back there off my glass. It looked like wood, but it wasn't. Okay. Well, I haven't seen any kind of protest in the downtown Atlanta area. Now, they might have some around the Atlanta City Hall. I guess I could meander that way. That might be a lot of fun. Let's go up here to Peachtree and hang a right and follow that down, and we'll see what's what. I'm gonna pause it while we get up there. Okay, here we are coming up on Peachtree Street. We're gonna turn right and head through the actual downtown, actual. We're still kind of in Midtown-ish. This is kind of the demarcation line of it all. And we're gonna see if there's anything going on down there. riding with somebody one day down this street. We were going to a meeting, and I got my phone out because it was pouring down rain, and the lights of the city through the rain. I got some great footage. You know, I need to bring that out.
I do.
See if I can't do something with it. You can see all of this downtown, right in here. If you keep going down this way, see, where do you end up? You know, it's been so long since I've been to this end of Peachtree that I've forgotten. I know when I get there, I'm going to say, oh yeah, that's where it goes. But I think we're going to be going towards the Atlanta City Hall this way. This is where Dragon Con usually happens, downtown Atlanta here. All the hotels filled with people dressed up as all kinds of characters from sci-fi shows. I know they had a furry convention here one time. A friend of mine said, let's go, let's go. I got out of there as fast as I could. And no, I did not dress up as an animal. Though I will tell you, a young cowboy approached me. I kid you not, he was a cowboy, not a cow. He was a cowboy. And I said hello. I was just sitting there waiting, and you know me, I like to talk to people. And he seemed like a regular, normal fella till he stood up. And he made an offer that I politely refused, but then he stood up and he was walking away. And pinned on the back of his leather belt was a animal tail of some sort. I never did quite figure out what kind of animal it was, but he self-identified as a furry. I just thought he was just somebody that was there. Oh my goodness gracious me. I'm still not, we're not too far from the Atlanta City Hall, and I'm not seeing any kind of thing going on here. I don't know if they're going to save all the excitement for tonight. This is Saturday, it's not the 25th. So I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked for local news and didn't find any excitement that happened Saturday night, other than the normal Saturday night stuff. But nothing that was a King's March or anything like that. And the rest of this video is me let's see how many more minutes I got. 26. I don't know, about 10 more minutes. I'm just going to spare you. Let's remove it from the thing. Didn't see any other signs until I got closer to home, when a woman, I was at a red light, she was at a red light, and she had holding it up in the her windshield in front of her face, like this, in front of her face. a sign that said "No Kings," big piece of orange, fluorescent orange paper. No kings. And she's driving, looking around like this. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I'll spare all the other stuff for you. I ended up going on a nice long memory tour and also seeing some new parts of town that, or parts of town that I haven't seen in a very, very, very long time. And it was nice. I had a good afternoon doing all of that, and but you'll be bored, and I didn't record all of it because some of it was just, you know, for me. Anyway, well, listen, everybody. We're going to say goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed the massive drama that I brought you of the No Kings marches, because there was two that I saw, and one that tried to get a start, just couldn't. But y'all have fun. Bye.
She treats you right.